Hey, it's Rod V. You know, back in March was my son's birthday, and I bought him a brand new Stratocaster for his birthday, and a friend of mine gave me a Squire Telecaster. And I rebuilt that for his birthday also, so he got 2 guitars for his birthday. But the Telecaster needed pickups, and it needed a bridge, and it needed strings and stuff like that, and I did all that, rebuilt it, I guess you could say. And that's what planted the seed in my head of, could I build a guitar and would it be playable? And that's how I got into building guitars. Now, I'm not a luthier. I don't claim to be a luthier. I don't even play guitar, but I can tune one. And I've built about 4, maybe 5. And from the first one to the last one I built is a big change. I figured everything out. And I mean, you know, you got to fail to succeed, and I did fail. The last 2 I built were really, really good. I have some friends that are in bands, and I've let them play them, and they were really impressed of what I did. So the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to see if I can make a guitar from beginning to end, but make my own pattern. I have a shape in my head that I want to see if I can turn it into a guitar. I think it'd be really cool. So that's what I want to try to do. That's the next step of seeing if I could build a guitar of my own design, and will it be playable. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to start out with some of the patterns that I already have. This is a Explorer style pattern, and the only reason I want this is for the pickup holes, the neck, and the center line, because the most important part is everything's got to be straight, and I'm going to use this pattern just for that, just to line up the neck and the pickup holes straight, and then I'm going to draw my design around that to make sure everything lines up. So let me change the camera angle, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is I want to trace out my pickup holes. Now I'm going to take my straight edge, line it up on my marks. All right, now I have center. Now I can take and draw my pattern around that, and everything will be centered up. Okay, what I just did, it was kind of off camera, was I put my pattern back on, and I traced this curve, because this, if you're right-handed, this curve is where your finger goes, so you can get back here to the 22nd fret. And I flipped it over, and I drew the same pattern on this side, because I want them to match. Okay, now I've got the pocket pattern for my Stratocaster. And the reason I want to use this one is because I want the Stratocaster neck pocket. I don't want a Telecaster neck pocket. Okay, now for the shape that I want to make, I want to measure up from the edge of the pickup hole right on the line, and I'm going to mark this 2 inches. Okay, I took my straight edge and I drew a line right across where I'd measured 2 inches. Okay, the next thing is how long do I want it? I mean, I don't want it really long. You know, an Explorer is long. I think it's like 22 inches long or something like that. So I'm going to go from the very top of my neck here, the body, and I believe I don't want it no more than maybe 17 inches, maybe 16. I might make it longer depending on the shape that I'm going to draw in here. May make it be longer. I might have to go to 19. So I'm going to go 16. I'm going to mark it 18. And now I'm going to take my square And I'm going to square it up on my center line at each one of these marks. And it's 16, 18, and 19. Okay, now the butt of the guitar, I don't want it but 13 inches wide, so I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark 6.5 inches on either side. Look, I'm going to take my straight edge, I'm going to put the corner of it right on that cross section right there where I drew the line across the top, and I'm going to put this one right at the 18-inch length mark, and I'm going to draw a line. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this side, except I'm going to put it on the 16-inch line. Okay, now this is a cavity pattern for Flying V, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over because I want to use this curve right here, and I'm going to line up this flat part of the curve just to this side of the pickup pocket. So I like this shape, but I think I might move this back to the 19-inch mark to give it more of a, because I want it to come in a little bit deeper. Okay, so what I did off camera, because I couldn't find anything with a round pattern that I wanted, I just took my pen and I freehanded a curve right here. Okay, then I took my strap pattern, the one that I used for the neck pocket, I put it back on, lined everything up, and then I marked where the bridge goes. Okay, so I put me a piece of plexiglass under my pattern and a X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut the pattern out. Well, there it is. It's kind of thin, but that's what I wanted. I actually really wanted the body to be the same width as the neck, but then I had to take in consideration that the pickups are wider than the neck, so that's why that's there. And so I think that's going to look pretty cool. So now what we got to do is I've got to transfer this over to my pattern board. And we need to see if that's wide enough, because I might have to join that together. Okay, my pattern board isn't quite wide enough. So you can see it's probably 3 or 4 inches from being wide enough. So what I have to do is I have to cut a piece of this off, join it together right here, about 4 inches, about that much, glue it together. It's going to take me about a day. So let me get that done. We'll come back and we'll transfer the pattern and get the pattern board cut out so I can make the body. Okay, it's the next day and my pattern board got glued together. I went ahead and I put the pattern on my board with a glue stick, and on this side I made it just a little bit wider because from the edge to the pickup pocket is 1 1/8 inches. It was only 3/8 on this side. So I made it a little bit wider. It's this line right here to try to even it out. So now what I have to do is I take my modern pattern and I'm going to stick it on here and clamp it down. And this is what I'm going to use to line it up to route this out evenly. So let me set that up and we'll come back and route. Okay, I got my pattern on here, which was the Explorer style pattern I used for the pickup pockets. I've got everything lined up with the center line, and I'm going to screw it down. I've already got one screw in. I'm going to screw it down to my pattern board so it doesn't move when I write out the pockets and the neck shape. Well, here it is. I left the template on the front because I glued it on there, but I'll pull it off. Anyway, it is a small body. I sent a picture of the drawing that I made to a friend of mine. He builds guitars, and he says he wasn't a fan. It's a small body. They don't hang right. They don't do this. They don't do that. Well, I really don't care. That ain't the point. The point was to see if I could make a pattern of my own design and get it right and make a playable guitar out of it. Now I'm still going to build this. I'm going to build it just like I would anything else and see if it'll play. It may be a wall hanger, and if that's the case, that's fine. My son will hang it on his wall and it'll look pretty cool. But what I'm going to do to this is once I get the body cut out, before I cut any of the pockets, I'm going to do some epoxy resin art on the front. Try to make it look like a galaxy is what I'm going to do. So if you want to see that, stick around, hit the like, subscribe button, and come back and check that out. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you later. Have a good day.